Joe, thanks so much for joining me to talk about all things hands-free. I think last time we saw each other, you had just gone off to Costa Rica, or you were just about to go off to Costa Rica. And I had shorter hair, I believe. At the moment, I'm rocking my boy band look.
I think it was pink as well last time I saw
Going
you.
out. Oh, did it have some colour in? I mean, who knows what it's going to look like? It's short, long. It grows so fast. So was that on a practice day or was that the end
It
of the
was
training?
no, it was the November practice days. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm getting that
Yeah,
mixed up in my head. So you did the training and then you did a practice day and then off you went to
yeah,
Costa Rica.
yeah.
Nice. What was your favorite thing on that?
Amazing. Oh God,
Like,
so many fantastic things. Really hard to choose one.
yeah,
Um,
okay.
we we saw spiders the size of my hand, which was pretty scary. Monkeys. We actually snorkeled with green turtles, which was amazing.
Oh, wow.
I don't like heights, and we did the hanging bridges one day, so I was very proud of myself doing that.
Is
And then
that like the wooden, like a
the
wooden bridge
yeah,
slatted thing?
yeah, with
Oof.
just cables with the wooden things. The first one, I was like, I just had my eyes pinned directly in front of me and didn't look around at all. And then once I'd done one, it kind of got easier from there. And then the following day was my birthday, and we did zip lining through the jungle, which again was very. The first one, I just screamed the whole way. You could just pause it. You could just hear me going, ah, going into the distance.
I think you kind of have to. It's like when you run a roller coaster, you kind of just have to let that out.
Yeah, yeah.
Because otherwise you'll just sit like that.
Yeah, yeah. But
So,
it's such an amazing country, honestly. I
oh, I
highly
really hope
recommend
to
it.
get
It was
there.
just fantastic. Yeah.
Wonderful. Lucky you. Nice.
Mm.
Nice. And I just had this vision because we're here to talk about hands free. I had this vision, as you said, you were on the ropes. I thought you wouldn't have been doing that hands free, would you?
No.
Like
No.
that.
Oh, a white knuckled grip, I think is how
Yeah.
you describe that one. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Sounds stunning. I've never been to anywhere like that before. So thank you
Yeah,
for
it's
sharing that.
amazing. Mm.
So speaking of hands free,
Mhm.
white knuckles is certainly something we don't see.
Hopefully.
Isn't while we're working hands free. Yeah. Um, I'm going to really start at the end, just in case whoever's watching um, wants to kind of have the last question asked first. If you don't know what hands free can offer you, it's hard to imagine because you've never been on the training. So how would you know? Now that you've been on the training, what would you say to someone who is thinking about doing it? It's a
I
very
would,
broad question, so
yeah.
answer it in any way you feel
Yeah.
you want to.
So I would say to anyone considering the course, just do it. I wish I'd done it sooner, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah.
And the 8 days, it for me, it felt really necessary, and it was really great to have 2 days in a gap to solidify and practice what we'd learned, and then 2 days in another gap to practice and solidify. That was for me. I'm quite a I like hearing the theory and then applying it. So for me, that was a really great way of learning and then applying it. And the 8 days, you need that time, because really what I've been thinking about this, and what I felt happened was I had to completely rebuild my foundation of massage, literally from the bottom up. Everything was new, my body position, the height of the bed, the height of the stool, actually using a stool and sitting more, completely different to what I had learned when I'd done my training. So I felt like it was like knocking a house down and then building it up again from the foundations, and then brick by brick. And you really need that time in between each of the modules, I felt, to just let it all settle. Let your brain go, oh, okay, yeah, I get it now, and let your body get into the flow and practice it. So for me, it was a perfect way of doing it, and I hugely recommend it. As I say, I just wish I'd done it sooner.
Sooner, yeah. How long did it take you to get round to us?
Probably about 3 years.
It's never too late, right? It's never too late. But yeah, that can happen. So I'm really happy that you were on the training, you got that from it. And to hear that journey of the building on the modules is really super important. We get a lot of questions with, why is it 8 days? Can't it be shorter? can we learn it? Can't we do a 4-day or an 8-day intensive?
Mhm.
And the answer really is no.
Yeah.
um, as you've mentioned, because of how you build on it, right? And
Yeah.
did you feel part of that journey was increasing the sensitivity in your elbows, in your forearm and your elbow,
Oh yeah,
and learning to lean with your body, right?
100%. So, one of the relearns is, I would say, and I think probably a lot of therapists have this feeling as well. When we train, we're taught to do a routine, right? And you
Yeah.
follow a routine and you use your hands a lot. So then, to start becoming more confident, you have to relearn which parts of your forearm and your elbow you can use and what it feels like. I mean, initially, the first time we started using forearm, a lot of us on the course were, I can't feel anything. I don't know what I'm doing. It really did feel like going back to the beginning when you first learn about massage therapy and you're manipulating the muscle and you're trying to work out, is that a knot? What's going on here? It was exactly the same, but you're doing it with a different body part. So relearning that sensitivity, I think, was really important. And again, that's where the usefulness of having a couple of days and then practice came in, because in those couple of days, by the end of the couple of days, you're starting to think, okay, I think I'm feeling something now. But then being able to go away and practice on models and clients, or other people on the course. A couple of times I got together with
Yeah.
other people on the course. That was really useful, because at that point then you get that aha moment. Oh yeah, I can really feel now. I can feel that knot even with my elbow. I can feel that now. I can work into it, I can push around it, and that just takes time and practice. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely that's relearning of the sensitivity bit is a key part of the learning process, I think.
Right, thank you. And having it develop over time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always say that you would have discovered through the training and working with it now that the hands stay very much part of the process. A lot of people think that the hands, it's like hands-free massage, so we don't use our hands at all. So I like to say the hands are, you might remember this from training, the hands are for connection and palpating.
Yeah.
um, and the arms are for the hard graft when we really need to work deeper,
Yeah.
or for effleurage, so you don't have to do any of this anymore. You
Yeah.
can just use your body. um yeah,
Mm.
so so many sensitivities here that we don't have here, so it's great
Yeah.
to hear that how it develops over time, and the
Yeah.
space in between the training allows that to develop.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You said during that, your aha, well, there were aha moments. Can you
Mhm.
think of one that really stays with you or solidified in any way, possibly
Yeah,
after the training?
I think there's probably a few aha moments. The first one I would say was definitely in after the first couple of days, where you're kind of relearning about body dynamics and actually using your body weight rather than what I was trying to do is like push harder with my fingers, or leaning on my wrist and trying to push through that, and instead learning actually you can do that just by shifting your body weight on your forearm or your elbow. It sounds so simple, but when
But
you
if you
get
don't know,
it,
you don't know.
yeah, exactly. And when you get it, there is literally a light bulb above your head that goes bing. You think, oh, right, now I get it. And because of that, I feel like I can get much deeper because I'm using my body weight. It's so much easier to get deeper than it used to be when I was trying to mash my fingers into the muscle. Yeah, that was definitely an aha moment. Another aha moment was the point at which I started to get that sensation, when I could feel what I was doing with my forearm, when I could feel where the knots were with my elbow. It's like, yeah, I really understand this now. I feel like I'm being effective because I can feel what I'm doing. That was definitely an aha moment.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. And have you felt now that you've been going with hands free for, well, close on a year? Because I think your training started about March last year.
March
Um,
or April, I think. Yeah.
so yeah, so we're getting close.
Yeah.
After all these months, do you feel like I felt at some point? My one aha moment many years later, actually was I think I can feel knots now even better with my forearms and my elbows than I can with my fingers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And
You're
I
doing
think,
that already. That's great.
yeah. And I think as well, a real turning point in terms of how I deliver my massages probably came between the end of the advanced course, so at the end of the 8 days, and before I went back to do the practice days, which was about 4 months afterwards. And
Something like
I
that, yeah.
felt that in that period, I got to the point where, okay, I feel like I've really got it. I understand the principles, I can apply them, I can feel what I'm doing. And I was able to kind of go off piste and make up my own stuff.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think in that period, that's where I thought, yeah, I've really got it now because I understand the principles and I can just make things up as I'm going. And that's enabled me to be much more individual in my approach. So you can kind of throw out that routine. I still I still keep a basic skeleton, if you like, of the key areas I know I want to work on.
Sure,
But
sure.
depending on the client, I'll stay longer somewhere or leave somewhere else out. My approach now is much more dynamic and focused on the customers, the client's needs, rather than me delivering a routine from
A
A to
routine,
B
yeah.
to C to D. Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, if one is delivering a routine for one's entire massage career, uh, mm,
Ding.
yes, and that's actually something that I feel about hands-free. Not only does it give you the tools to work deeply or just even work without overdoing it with your hands, because like I said earlier, we're using these forearms for effleurage and things like
Mhm.
that. So not only does it save your hands and your body and gets you away from a routine, but the creativity of your massage changes, I think.
Mm.
And oh, sorry, I know because I
Yeah.
experienced that myself, having done hands free since 2009. I'm constantly making things up
Mhm.
time
Me
because my
too.
body's different on a day, and I work with somebody's body that moves like other bodies haven't moved before. And so you're doing something one day and you're like, oh, I've not done this move before. I've got to put
Mhm.
this in my memory bank. So I think it offers a lot of creativity, which is what you were talking about before,
Yeah.
the time in between sessions, but or the modules, or the time also importantly afterwards to then return for a practice day.
Yeah.
Um, your creativity was really unleashed. And actually, I'm going to share the screen because I have those photos waiting because you did some gorgeous work this day. So here's a glimpse into the practice day there a few months after Joe's course. And Joe, you also do. Now we're definitely sideswiping from where I was going to take us because there were several things I wanted to say on the topics that you brought up in your last part of what we were talking about. But you
Cool.
do on-site massage.
Yeah.
So this is you just freestyling using the tools that you learn on the training. I want to find the ones of your working on the feet and wherever else. Here we go. Look at this. So lovely. I think I said to you in that moment, I can't say I've ever done that. It was a gorgeous moment. You attended this practice day and a few months after your training, and I could see how your creativity had been unleashed and you were making up all of these beautiful moves on the spot. We were doing some really fine tuning of certain things. So this is definitely an advanced move. Lots of people come on the training hoping and expecting to do things like this and get really into the neck during the training. But now that you've done your training and you attended the practice day later, I'm sure you can see getting to this stage at the end of the training is not really the aim because you're still developing your skills.
I think the thing about the neck area is there isn't really a lot of muscle bulk to work on.
Yes,
It's not like working on the traps, or
yes,
the legs where you've got lots of nice muscle to get into the neck. The spine is so much nearer to the skin. There's not really much protecting those little joints. And I think to go into the neck with your elbow when you're only just learning would probably not be hugely comfortable for the client. And also, if you're not getting that sensation, the sensitivity in your elbow when you do that, you're not going to feel much either. So I think doing that on a practice day after you finish the course, when you've really got the techniques, the basics of the techniques down, is much more useful both for the client and for you. So you feel, you know more what you're feeling, and then you can work on it better for the client.
Yeah, it's always a two-way thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And your sensitivity had developed further.
Definitely.
And so you were able to go with that lovely precision into the neck. On the practice day, we revisited some of the seated massage that on whether it's on a chair or on a mobile massage chair.
Yeah.
Had a brain fry there for a moment. We do that on the training. So for those who are watching, we teach a lot of the principles on seated. Firstly, on a normal chair, and then we can start to feel how we feel with these new tools. And then as we progress in the training, we invite the learners to bring in their mobile massage chair if they wish to. So you can start to use all the skills that you've learned on the training and start to get them into a corporate environment should you need to. So we're going to come back and chat about that in a moment. And also we want to chat more about massage practice days, the value of them in the long term, and how you felt about it coming on so soon after your training. But I want to just get back to the beginning, please, because we sort of started at the end and have taken very lovely diversions since then. But I wanted to ask, where were you when you came to the 8-day training?
Okay.
How did you feel in your body? What was happening in your treatments?
Yeah. So if I tell you how I started, I came from a corporate environment, very high stress, and decided in my early 50s that actually it was too much stress and I wanted to do something different. So I retrained, and in 2019 I set my own business up. So I wasn't open for quite a year before COVID hit. I trained in aromatherapy, Swedish massage, hot stone, Indian head, and very much on that idea of you deliver a routine, regardless of what the client is, everyone gets a routine. Then COVID obviously annihilated a year or so of my business. And I restarted after COVID, and it's just picked up since then, really. Unfortunately, I was unable to work for the whole of 2024 because I injured my hand and actually tore some ligaments in my hand, and which needed ligament reconstruction. Couldn't work for a year. Yes,
I remember that now.
Yeah, it was that really that I'd been looking at hands-free before that, thinking, oh, it sounds interesting, but ... And then when I injured my hand, that was the final impetus for me to go, do you know what? I just need to bite the bullet, do this training because it's going to help me with my hand. I don't know how I'm going to be when I get back to work. And I just want to save my hands as much as possible. So that was kind of the thing that pushed me into doing the training, really. That's the history of me getting there. So when I first came to you, I was delivering the normal kind of massage routines, probably without too much individualization for clients. Yes, I could feel the differences and I was trying to do some things differently, but it was probably a tiny percentage of what I was doing. There was somehow this drive to, in 60 minutes, you have to do this, rather than listening to what the client said or what their body was telling me when I was working on them. And I think that's been a key thing that's changed. So since I started doing the 8 days advanced course, each time I came for a 2-day session, I'd learn something new that I could take away and start incorporating and just build until now I'm at the point where I can be totally flexible, listen to what the client's telling me and then adjust things accordingly. So I'll give you a couple of examples because it might be helpful.
Yeah, please.
You talked about us doing seated massage. So with someone just in a normal seated massage, right? So apart from Indian head massage, which I've always delivered seated like that, I've never considered doing it for any of my other clients. And yet I've got a couple of clients who have so much tension in the top of the traps, which is quite difficult when it's right on the top. It's actually quite difficult to get into when they're lying down, right? Because your angle's not great.
Yeah, really hard.
So with both of those clients, I now start them off sitting in the chair, and I do 10 minutes on the top of their trap, sitting in the chair, because I can really get into where their tension is. And then I lie them down and do the rest of the massage. And I'm then working on something that's a lot softer because I've already worked on their worst bits of tension. So that's completely changed for me. I think that sometimes I heard a couple of people say on the course, oh, I never treat people sitting up. And actually, do you know what? When you receive it and you can feel how effective it is, it makes you realize I should be doing this more. It's actually really helpful for some of the clients.
Yeah. I mean, if you think back to, as I was saying earlier, when we start the training, the besides warming up and body use, the first thing we do is seated on a chair and we lean on the shoulders.
Yeah.
And you may or may not remember. I mean, I remember because I've taught so many of the trainings now that even just the first learning the principles. So you're busy feeling in your body and your partner's feeling what they're feeling and we having a chat about it. But even just the learning of the principles where you're not actually doing much massage. I always see people on the chair are doing that.
Yeah.
And like we're hardly even doing any massage, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've actually had people fall asleep when I've been doing
yeah.
massage on them sitting up, and they've fallen asleep and they get the head nod. Yeah.
Well, so that's I'm glad you said that, because I was wanting to ask you, now that you're incorporating that, how do your clients find that? And there's the answer. It's very effective.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so I've also changed my Indian head massage routine to include those parts of the hands-free massage that we were doing. And I just find it's so much more effective. You can feel the muscles relaxing throughout the session. So I start off, when I do that, I start off on the shoulders, do the arms, do the neck, do the scalp, do the face, and then go back to the shoulders because I want to see what the difference is. And since I've started incorporating the hands-free moves, the difference from the beginning to the end of our Indian head massage is just huge. Even the tightest shoulders now feel soft and malleable at the end of the session. And everyone without fail says, that was fantastic. I feel so much better. And that's one of the reasons why I went into massage. I wanted to help people. I wanted to get that satisfaction of doing something to help people. And I'm really getting that feedback with the hands-free massage techniques.
Can you talk a little bit more about what else, apart from the seated massage and the Indian head massage, how else have you taken the hands-free into the work that you do, and how has it influenced your past learnings to get a new style for you?
I would say it's infiltrated every part of my my massage practice. Every single part. Doesn't matter what type of massage someone's coming in for. I would say probably in every massage I'm using my forearms and elbows 80 to 90% of the time, and that's probably where I'm going to stay. There's still 10, probably only actually about 10% where I will use hands.
Very selectively.
But very selectively, yeah.
But can I clarify that just for everyone watching?
Yeah.
I think what you're saying there, it brings me back to what I said earlier. The hands are still very much part of the massage. So when we say you using your hands selectively, maybe that's for these fine little babies at the back here.
Yeah.
Or for face massage.
Or a scalp massage.
Or
you
a
can't
scalp.
Really do that with
Yeah. I mean, we have had some playtime like this before on some of the trainings, but so you're going from your hands to your forearms, to your hands, to your forearms, and then maybe using your fingers for some more sensitive work.
Yes, absolutely.
More tiny work.
Things like scalp, face, sometimes around the neck, as you say, especially in the attachments around the bottom of the skull. I probably still use hands, but it's very much as part of a flow. I still use hands sometimes when I'm first palpating to work out where
Yes.
is this not going exactly, where does it stop and start before. But it's so easy once you learn the technique to do that and then flow into work with the forearm and the elbow. It just feels natural now as part of my massage flow.
Nice. Lovely. I love it. Oh, I'm just sitting here going, oh, I need a hands-free massage. So we spoke a little bit earlier about the corporate massage, and it's a small part of the training, but we can take all the things that we learn on the table and apply that to working on a mobile massage chair. So how have you found that for you? What is those techniques? How have they changed your corporate work?
Quite a lot, really. So I would say from a couple of perspectives. One, in terms of the creativity and what I'm actually delivering, again, moving away from that idea of a routine and feeling what's going on for that particular client. So, for example, I actually delivered a corporate seated massage day yesterday. And I had some clients where I discovered they were quite tight, kind of middle of the back, thoracic down to lumbar. Others, the obvious, they're computer workers, so lots of them had tension up in the trapezius. One of them had a really tight scalp, and it just kind of brings home that actually everyone is different. So I think one of the key things it's done for me is enable me to react to what I'm feeling, even in a seated massage, even where it's a shorter session. They're clothed, there's no oil. You can really feel the muscles still when you're using the hands-free massage techniques.
Nice.
And I delivered 15 massages yesterday during that full day.
That's what I wrote down. I wanted to ask you that. Yeah.
So
how many and how long?
15 20-minute massages. And every single person, when they left, said, oh, I feel so much better. They looked more relaxed. They were walking out much more upright. And they could all feel the difference at the end of the session. And after delivering 15 massages,
how did you feel?
I felt like, okay, yes, I've delivered 15 massages, but nowhere near like I used to feel at the end of a corporate massage day where I'd be totally exhausted. I did not feel like that. So for me, being able to deliver the depth with my body weight and moving my body weight correctly versus trying to squeeze in has made a big difference for how I feel at the end of the day. Yeah. So it's kind of a win-win. The client wins because they get a more effective massage, but I win as well because I'm not as tired. I enjoy it more. I'm more creative and I get more out of it.
Fantastic. Wow. I mean, it sounds like you've really embraced these skills and that they're going to keep evolving for you in the future so much. One can't come to hands-free expecting it to be a cure for feeling like you're bouncing off the walls at the end of the day. Because if you do 6 massages in a row and you're working for 6 solid hours or 7 solid hours, having done an hour massage each, your body is going to have some level of exhaustion for constantly moving around and working with people's energies. So it's not a be-all cure for feeling like you've done nothing by the end of the day. But certainly the tools we teach give you that level of being able to get to the end of the day, knowing that you've used your body really well, effectively for yourself and for your client. And so you just feel like you've done a day's work rather than, as you said,
yeah,
sofa. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And we discussed the effectiveness for the corporate clients. I assume the answer is the same for the table work that you're doing.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Anything to add there about how your clients are finding the difference from the hands only?
Yeah. So I have one client who kind of comes and goes a little bit. She'll come for a few months and then she'll stop, and then for a couple of months and then she'll come back. So she's been coming to me on and off for probably about 4 years. And she came for a session last month, I believe it was, and I was using much more hands-free then. She said, oh, I've really noticed how your massage has changed. She said, it feels so much better now, and I feel so different when I leave. And she was quick to say, it was good before, it was good before. But now, you know, you've gone up a level. It's even better than it was. So I think that's a good feedback on how my massage has changed for the clients.
Yeah, it feels better.
Yeah.
It's a better massage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it definitely helps you to give a better massage. I mean, that's why we use one of our taglines, shall we say, is, you know, deliver a better massage, work smarter, get a better massage.
Yeah.
So that's really great to hear that you're getting that feedback. Would you say your client list, I mean, this could be down to many, many things, but since doing the course, has your client list grown?
Definitely.
And can you put that down to hands-free? Or is that for many other reasons, do you think?
It could be for lots of things, but I think people keep coming back to you when they feel like they're getting good value and that what you're delivering is working for them. So I find now I have very few clients who only come for 1 or 2 sessions and then stop. I pretty much all my clients just keep coming every month again and again. And I think that it's got to be down to them feeling like it's effective and they're getting good value for money, or they'd stop coming, right? So
exactly.
it must be a certain, regardless of what's happening in the market, there must be a certain amount that's to do with the techniques I'm using. And especially because I've got a couple of friends who are massage therapists as well, and they're really struggling for clients at the moment. And whereas for the last 3 weeks, I've been fully booked. You know, I've been getting new requests coming in, and I've had to say to people, I'm really sorry, I've got nothing for a fortnight. I can see you the week after. But what a great problem to have, right?
Yeah, really great problem.
Yeah.
Really great problem. Oh, I'm really, really happy to hear that. It's really nice to connect with you all these months later and hear all of this wonderful stuff. Especially that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you about your enjoyment of massage, but I'm getting the vibe that the answer to the question is a lot more. Would you say that you're enjoying massage more since you did the training?
Yes, definitely. Definitely enjoying it more. I would say the fact that I can be more creative while still feeling that I'm being effective gives me much more enjoyment from the sessions. And because it needs quite a lot of focus, you know, you're really focusing on how the muscles are moving, where the tissue is having problems, what it's feeding back to you, and how you can try and help that. I find it very meditative, actually, delivering massages, because I'm so focused in the moment and what's happening right now. That at the end of a session, I also feel quite chilled because I don't know, it's really a really positive experience for me as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just in terms of massage as a whole, for sure. Whatever's going on in one's life, just goes out the window. Because you have to just be 100% focused on that client in the moment. Even more so with the skills that you have now with hands-free, you have to be even more focused for every second, because not only are you thinking about them and their tissues and what they need now and where you're going to go next, you're then cycling back to yourself in every moment going, and what is my body doing? And what is my breath doing? And how can I change my position? Or maybe I'm working with my shoulder too much. How can I readjust? So it's that constant feedback loop that we talk about that really demands 100% focus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the 8-day training is full to capacity of moves, ideas, techniques. In fact, it's so full that, I mean, I think that the training should be longer because we could teach you more. But which moves do you feel, if you can hone it down, because there's so many, which moves do you feel, or ideas do you feel has had the most significant impact with working with clients?
So I would say some of the elbow work has been some of the most significant change for me. I did a deep tissue massage course, and they taught us during that to find a knot, and then with our elbow go into the knot and really kind of press on that painful point for the client.
Like that,
like pressure point, like pressure point, pressure really. which is quite uncomfortable for the receiver, and for you giving it when you don't know about using your body weight correctly is quite hard work. So that has obviously changed as I've learned to use my elbows and my body weight correctly. And now it's much more about when you're working in the trapezes and you find those knots, working around the edges, kind of persuading them that actually they can move, they can stretch, they can relax, rather than going straight on top of them, rather than a full-on frontal assault. It's a bit of a negotiation, is how I would describe it. And it's much more effective. Yeah, much more effective from my perspective, and much more pleasant for the client as well.
Yes, so we're kind of coaxing and coaching them into releasing, using our body in a gentle manner rather than just hammering down at them.
Yeah.
Trying to force them to give way. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful way of working, isn't it?
Yeah.
And very effective. And, you're not pushing down with these things either. So great. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, the shoulders and the traps, of course, are always a major, well, the whole shoulder girdle, really, including, having forearms into here is just phenomenal when it's done skillfully and sensitively, the way we teach it.
Yeah.
And backtracking to when we kind of started earlier in the conversation, speaking about the practice day that you attended several months after the training. So do you want to talk about the importance of, I mean, for me, I can see when learners come back, I can see the importance, but I'm interested to hear the importance of, for you, how it was coming back quite so soon. So I think it was about 4 or 5 months, let's say. I think you finished in July, and that training day, that was November. Yeah. So from July to November, what was the impact of that? How did that coming back so soon, what was the advantage for you?
So I think doing the practice day fairly soon after the end of the training, I mean, 4 months I had between the two, was really, really useful for me. So that in that 4-month gap, I was able to practice all the techniques, really start to feel like I was getting into the flow. I knew what I was doing. I was starting to make up a few things myself. So then to come back at that point and do a practice day was just so beneficial for me. I was able to check with you that the things I was making up, I was still using my body correctly, that my weight was going in the right direction. And in that practice day, again, I made up quite a few different moves that I've since incorporated into my massages. So I would say for me, because I'm a practical learner, it was perfect timing to have that 4-month gap where I'd practiced and solidified and then come back and build on it again, just took it up another level for me. It was perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Good. Good to know. I feel that the returning to the work, returning to being a student of hands-free massage is vitally important, because there's so much that you have to take in. Returning to it, whether it's 6 months, 8 months, 2 years, 5 years, or even longer, I really feel, and when I've seen the learners in class, that there's so much that you have to always come to return to, because you forget, or you learn a new skill or new skills and you incorporate those, and then you want to see how you can play with those and hands-free together. So maybe you can say, if you can see that for the future, how that might work.
Yeah, for the future, I can definitely see me coming back to practice days. I mean, it's only 2 months since I was on the last one, and we've had Christmas and New Year since then. So it's only really been, because I was off ill as well from New Year for a week. So it's only been a few weeks really.
True.
So at the moment, I'm still working on what I learn, I would say. I definitely will come back for a practice day, probably towards the end of the year. So it'll be a year since my last one. I just could see so much benefit from coming back and just making sure that I'm still doing the techniques right. Obviously, if during my practice I feel like, oh, something's hurting, I must be doing something wrong, then I'd come back sooner.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And actually, from what you were saying there, it led me to remember the advantage of the practice days is that you get to feel the hands-free again. Because once we've done our training and we go away, if we don't have a hands-free buddy, practitioner around the corner from us or close by, we never feel it. So feeling it again is advantageous, and then we unleash our creativity together again.
Yeah.
Just one last question to wrap it up. What moment still makes you smile when you think back to the training?
Probably I think it was in the third set of 2 days, either then or the last 2 sets, I can't quite remember, where we were working on the pecs and the arms, and I'd kind of been thinking, I'm not sure about using my forearms and my elbows on the arms, and then really kind of got into it. And the girl that I was working on had really tight pecs, so I just thought, I'll just get my elbow in there. And I'd say, what would happen then if I move her arm at the same time as getting my elbow into her pecs? And you came round and went, what a great move. We'll call that the Joe. And it still makes me laugh thinking about it.
That's the one I was thinking. The new move called the Joe. Beautiful. Joe into the pecs. I mean, what a left out area as well, in terms of, because that takes really fine motor coordination for the practitioner to be able to work in there with skillful sensitivity. I love that one. So Joe, it's been really wonderful to connect with you again. Thank you so much for joining me. It was so great to hear about your journey on the training and after the training, and how it's been incorporated into your treatment. I'm happy you found so much joy and creativity and light bulb moments and funny moments in the training and after that as well. Thank you. It's been really great to hear about it.
Lovely to see you as well. Thanks a lot, Leora. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks so much.